What's up, Lou?
You entered the black light, exited the mass.
Shells.
You entered the black light, exited the mass. You entered the black light, exited the mass.
Yo, we back again. If you throw it in the towel, then you back in sin. We need the Holy Spirit, please let the chaplain in. Here at the front door, chilling with a childish grin. We can now begin. Now the truth be told, we're riding on the light to let the youth get old. And following the one that will soothe your soul and take your bad situation and improve your role to release your flow. It's a long stretch to loosen all the nooses from the baby's necks. And tell the young ladies they should save the sex. And tell the young guys not to break their neck for the place of sex, but get the paycheck. And real women really don't play that. A wise lesson learned really way back. I used to okay that. The Lord saved me, Jack, from a life of whack. Come on.
Entered the black light, exited the mass.
Oh,
You entered the black light, exited the mass. You entered the black
you might want to start paying attention on this next verse.
You entered the black light,
Give
exited
me
the
your
mass.
attention for a minute. Damn. Come on. We from the same cut, but play in different positions. A top secret message got the president attention. Do what you do, just make the good folk listen. And trust me, yo, it's not about who you kissing. There is the plan to see you chewed up and shit out. The devil's burning red from the fire that we spit out. We on the get up, the hell with that down low. Cherish the gift of the wisdom that we found, yo. Still on the mission with the daily agenda. Your head's spinning cloudy, so I doubt you to remember that I walk with the king of kings inside me. Just like the root in India, I read. I volunteer, know the Lord didn't hire me. It is the spirit that inspired me. Water of life to show the chief where the fiery. We have no time for those that be acting grimy.
Yeah, I get it.
You see the light now? Boy, I've been talking to y'all for a while. You see, you thought this was for like some type of game. Man, revolution. Yeah. When you free your mind, your ass will follow. That's for real. And some of y'all locked up so bad, don't nobody have to put chains on you. Hell, you chain yourself down mentally, spiritually. Come on, free your mind, dude. You a king. Free your mind, chick. You a queen. Let me get something with some feel to it, some funk to it. Come on. I think I like that. Can we get some heavy drums in there? More like Caribbean soul. Caribbean? Yeah. Yes, we did. Bounce to this. I'm just a black man, title, yo, you give me that. I like them imports, never push the Cadillac. And would you figure, Mr. Man, while you're kicking back with sick plans to get you stacked, making chickens fat? You know you into that, chilling with your timber cat. Intoxicated to the point, past sinful acts. Be very nimble, Jack, or Jill will get a water back. And have your heart broke just like a heart attack. Look where your power at, no, not the Mido cats. It's deeper than tats and hurricanes and old maps. The spirit flows, so my folks throw daps. Meant for the wise as well as the spoiled brats. So you can fold up or either you can fold back. I hold no judgment over those that have chose crack. Terror over habit that has been proven to hold back. With God on your side, you can get your soul back. Yeah, we need some 3 parts on this, man. Yes, sir. I can't carry my boys at chorus. Come on, line up. Yo, we need y'all 3-part harmony on this. I don't know how you can work it out, but work it out. Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Into the room, you feel a certain doom. You might lose your hearing from the sonic boom. Out of the mouth is a sword and I'm taking you out. You try to stop me and I'm faking you out. Man, I wish I had an apprentice to build this work. Collaborate on synthesis. And I hope you remember this. Keep your enemy near to you. Far away, keep those that are dear to you. I hate beer, but I used to drink the brew. Heavily into the little habit turned deadly. I used to have a bud every day and all week. Intoxicated to the point where I couldn't hardly speak. So do the knowledge, that means hold your head. Let the past stay dead and keep a level head. And don't be misled. Remember most of what I said. I'm hot like times in a rock, but you got us hot for working on the block.
By the end of the night, how deep this music is. What does it profit the man to gain the world and lose your soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose your soul?
Mike's handed, I'm speaking candid. Understand this is the way that the masses demand it. I have wisdom, but God planned it. General media bandit. I blow flows on beaches and make you wonder where the sand went. The Taliban spent more times in design to destroy cities. My rhymes inspire minds. I'm known as Big Papa, but I ain't your daddy yet. But I could be your bro if you could get the concept. There be many that stand whenever I rip, but it's devastation whenever I rip. I spit flows that hit like mouth on tits, straight legit. You fake rappers need to understand that felonies, gunfights and drugs don't make a true MC. And I will do more than talk this talk. I will defiantly walk this walk. There's no need to spaz. Your nose bleeding while I'm beating your ass. You in the cesspool.
Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What does it profit?
Ancient tiny secret now. Yes. Did you not pay attention in your history class? Partner, wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up, son. It is written that there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. And that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So take your position. Don't you know you are part of that scripture, yo? Yo, you've been getting in the way and let you knock you down. Yes, but we gon' bring the light, yeah. A Max V production, baby. You know what it is. Listen, I'm known to tell you to fight back. There's no need to sell crack just to live fat. Why don't black superstars simply give back when they know it's a struggle just to live black? Can you picture that, Mr. Aristocrat? I'm coming from the bottom, rising to the top. And constant the tone on the CDs I drop. I won't flip-flop like a black bass, but I will put a message in the song before I hook your ass. See, we're first-class living, worse than slaves of the earlier days. And we adapted the ways of the slave master. I stand upon it, the fairy rock which put your people in bondage just to get 100. The big face kind, and it don't matter if it's making people lose their freaking mind. That's why I'm speaking mine. Hopefully they change yours to pull you out of these streets from these drugs and strange whores. Huh. Is
the love out there? You could have had me sing that. Anybody care? Is there love out there?
It's like we died inside, no longer having pride. We're still for rides, a new skill to hide. And like the red tide, go and get our heads dyed. Rebel against the laws in the cities we reside. Sleep the circumstance, though our eyes open wide. Fail to coexist, let alone coincide. Eat chicken many ways, but prefer it fried. Like your man on death row when his relatives cried. Is death a mistake because somebody lied? And we can only pray that Christ is by his side.
You heard what he said on death row when somebody died? They could be taken two places. I know what he's talking about. In the penal system of lies, the kangaroo court based on service to murder, which is the Dead Sea laws. And most of these people would never be in the position they is in if it wasn't for certain agencies within this fictional government or the underground or above and all the lapdogs that play a role in it. But you can also look at death row music. I'm gonna leave that at that. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Just wanted to get ready to give about 10 minutes. I'm making some of the mushroom chowder I got instead of butter, which I have no problem with, because I use ghee, but just clarified butter for those who don't know. But I'm using 3.5 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive, cold pressed one time. It's not the stuff that this worthless Italian mafia was poisoning the world with. It doesn't matter who they were poisoning, because people do dumb things for money, or well, what they call as money. And I just added which would become the paste, and I'm going to use low sodium mushroom chowder because I don't want to use heavy cream and all that stuff. Now, this stuff was made in a facility with soy. So you know what that may allude to, yet I have all the things to take care of that in my system. That's why my testosterone levels remain pretty high. I really had the taste for it. I've made it before. It's excellent. I'm not going to make the witch call on the side, which is using cooking sherry, though I have. Let me make sure, because I gave a couple of them away. Let me make sure I kept one. Let me see here. And then we'll get to the read. I don't know if I kept one. Oh, I did. So I'll show you. For those who are unaware, if you like exuberant taste and stuff like that, I kept one of these. I had a 6-pack and I used a couple of them and I gave a few of them away. And I kept this. This is Frey. This is an alcohol removed red blend in California vineyard. This is as far as a red wine, but it's more of a sherry for those who like to drink without having alcohol. But it's also excellent for cooking with. Sherry is a little different. It's more of a liqueur, but this works absolutely, because you're not going to do no flame reduction because there's no oil to, you know what I mean? And get the Japanese, which call going. So I might use a tablespoon, because it actually works when you're using the coconut flour and you're reducing them. Because I take the mushroom, put it in a separate pan. It's only not the whole can. That's 2.38 servings. So I'm going to take, because only a cup. So I'm going to get the 4 ounces, put that in a little pan with the sherry, 1 tablespoon. Okay. And you got to reduce that, adding a little bit, because it's already thick. It has the cream in it, right? So add a little coconut flour to it to make it like a paste, kind of like a paste, not a paste, but that's how we're going to get, Anyway, if you was here, it'd be good. All right, let's put it like that. When I'm going over, it's kind of, it sounds a little bit like some goofy ego. Let me know I'm explaining to you, which is really a good meal. So it's going to take about 25. I put it on low. I covered it. It's going to take about 25 minutes. I'm going to have to run in there, take that off, get this in the pan, throw the 4 ounces of cream of mushroom. All right, cream of mushroom. And this is the non-dairy brand. And I've got the 2 tablespoons of coconut flour just sitting up there on the board, cutting board, ready. So that way I can do it in a little copper pan that I have. And whip it up real quick, turn it on high. It doesn't take long at all, using one of the wooden forks that I have. Stir it up. With the mushrooms being off, I don't have to have 25 minutes. I don't have to drain or anything. Add it to it. It's like a chowder. Okay? So, yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit of politics, but I don't. Because I don't see the need in it. Agenda is an agenda. And the sad part, usually to fulfill an agenda, you have the people's minds whose mindsets are a part of it, because they get to live look at this. When they created white superiority, what did that do for the country? It imposed a lot of lies. It set a certain standard, right? Now, those very people, because of their ignorance, not all of them, but the majority of them, all right, especially the men, their ignorance has this problem with gender equality, as if gender was supposed to be something addressed. They had a problem dealing with the made-up ethnicity and races, to which never existed. Not knowing who the true Judeans, Atlanteans, or whatever you want to call us, the true Ishmaelites. Well, that's what we are. However, regardless, you want to be Indian, stay Indian. Stay stuck in that little department and learn as much as you can about it. When I keep telling you we're more than some freaking Indian. I already broke down the indigo and the colors and everything else. All right? And go back and watch those. I'm not here to do that. I'm not going to put it in the description either. Go back and search all those videos I put up. But like I said, I was doing this before any and everybody. And I'm talking about orally, as far as if you can go back to MySpace and find my own account. AOL, I don't know if you can pull it up, but they still have AOL as far as the witch call it, which I believe that information carried over because I never got rid of my AOL account. I know some people won't be like, man, he bugging. Am I? Let me see. Oh, it's for those of you who have a hard time dealing with it. This is my AOL account. That's steep from updates from my original one. And I still have my logbook account. I still have my MySpace account. Okay? Anyway. Anyway, go back and see exactly what I was expressing or discussing or putting down as far as information, if it's there. All right? Because some people have a hard time. I've been doing it that long. Yeah, sure. And my military career, there are people who serve with me who would come out and say, well, at least in the 80s, in 84, 85, 86, well, yeah, he was talking like that. Yeah, so, and that's 84, 85, 86, so on. Now you got people in here who served with me at high school who always knew I didn't never use that black term. I was always considering myself indigenous by the narrative because of what my pappy and everybody else was saying. My great grandma told me, things that I remember, knowing all my family relatives and members where they came from, knowing the names and everything. You know what I mean? And then going ahead and doing a semi-genealogy. My grandmother it was passed down to the big mamas. That Bible, that bibliography, and that's what it is. And all the family's names in it, the tree. I believe my aunt has it. Johanna has it now. I believe I should actually have it. Yet, that's not with ego. It's just based on who I am as a historian. Maybe I'll reach out to her and take chance. It's always been a woman, but a woman who knows the family history. Not somebody who can dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that and reach out and hopefully make that happen. Now, there is a lot of things. They sprayed this morning as as I showed you. And there was not seeding for no clouds or anything. This is pure friggin', it's no good. It's unnatural. And he's in the window. But it's no good. It doesn't matter what people think or believe. It doesn't matter at all. Then they want to get rid of you. I could have uploaded a video where I wouldn't have to worry about these goofy ads and stuff, but they want to get rid of you. This is and the ones who are watching this, you better believe they are the ones who partook of all kind of things that you wouldn't do, because morally y'all are sound. These individuals are not. They are not sound. I know you can't see them, but believe and trust in me that the people who monitor this stuff, they are not the worst. You could dispatch them quickly, but they are the worst of the worst. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into reading. Yeah, and then after I read this part, before I get into heaven bearers, I'll go ahead and turn that off and make sure it's just right. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into Exposing Expositions, 1851 and 1950, and revised 2020. That's in my opinion. Remember that. Revised edition, revised 2021 from its 2019 Court of Honors by Howard Mikowski. Okay, and if you want to get his 2019, go ahead and purchase it. I was actually looking into his other books, so we'll discuss that another time. But I just want to get right into it, because this is where it starts getting good. Well, it's always good, all of it. There is an oddity I want to point out about the photographs of the fair. An oddity, pay attention. Most of them have original copyright dates. And I got to thank somebody. Somebody donated. It popped down on my phone right when I clicked off. Anyway, most of them have original copyright dates directly on the photos. Generally, of course, they list 1898, the year of the fair. A few appear with the year 1897. However, there are photos with dates of years such as 1892, even 1858. Now, y'all know to remove 1,000 years. Copyright dates. Copyright. Okay? Why is there an 1892 copyright on the photo? Questionable, right? I don't think that is some sort of casual mistake. They took this copyright stuff seriously even then. Could we really be seeing buildings photographed 8 years prior to the fair? So we really have to ask, just what year was this fair photographed? It is interesting to read the views of modern historians who discuss the speedy way the fair supposedly came up and didn't last. These are typical quotes, but it was intentionally built cheap and temporary. This was the only way Omaha could afford such a spectacular place. To show the cheapness of the buildings at the expo, check this out. Now, listen. In November 1898, the Nebraska's building was sold for $470 to a new company. That amount in 2015 dollars, well, $12,819.99. These weren't well-built structures, and people then knew it, even if people today don't quite understand or accept that. Okay, that is the standard historical explanation for these fairs, as you know so far. I just don't believe that story. But this is what you will come up with again and again and again, as if no historian is actually willing to just take 10 minutes and think about what they are presenting from the standpoint of the actual architecture and building construction required. I want to read something to you. Yeah, I'm about to stir it in a minute. I want to read this, all right? I think this is important. I know, y'all know that I'm not a religious person, and I don't have to always say that, yet I'm aware of much more information that is pertinent, based upon facts, and the reality of how they play it through a consortium of things. So if you go to Psalms 83, chapter 83, verses 3 through 4, right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Not you, brothers and sisters. And consulted against the hidden ones. Consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, there's other quotes that allude to the fact that we were never meant to have a state. We were protectors of this realm. Because if you know before this is how they broke everything up. Then you will have a further understanding of Atlantis or even Egypt and the dire, how they even misinterpreted the whole period to which it was a period of time of those we were subjugated to. And the reason why we hid ourselves. They knew it, the Gujar. And I'm going to leave it at that. When the fair ended, they only demolished a few buildings and decided to have another smaller fair the following year. So for those who came in, the reason why I said that is because, let's go back. Okay, that is the standard historical explanation for these fairs. As you know so far, I just don't believe that story. But this is what you will come up with again and again and again, as if no historian is actually willing to just take 10 minutes and think about what they are presenting from the standpoint of the actual architecture and building construction required. Because of our fall, they took crafty counsel against us. Peace, prosperity, all the worlds being carbon-based. Okay. And we were ferocious. You can read the stories of the things we conquered and what we did to keep this place safe. And we beat and we won and they stayed away. When the fair ended, they only demolished a few buildings and decided to have another smaller fair the following year. After this second fair, a railroad car packed with demolition equipment arrived on November 4th, 1899. It took, I got to stay happy, y'all. My apologies. Only until January 1900 to have basically demolished the entire thing. What wasn't demolished was, you guessed it, destroyed in a mysterious fire just a few months later. Most of them were never fires. Well, the one, except for the ones seen, there were explosions, blown up. Anyway, a few months later, in June 1900, no, 9th century, 10th century, 900s, after that, there were, again, nothing left. Now, this Buffalo's Pan-American Exposition, look at who built these. Who do you think built these? The so-called government buildings of the fair. These are buildings they utilized and kept to establish fake governments. All right? That's Buffalo, y'all. This was not about people being great. Music. People could hear our voices every day. Nobody was ruling and with an iron hand and all this foolishness you see now from these perversions. Anyway, Buffalo had a World's Fair in 1901. Yes, Buffalo. Okay, Buffalo did have the 8th largest population in the Americas. I hate saying this U.S. and America stuff at the time, and did have a proximity to both the tourist attraction of Niagara Falls. You know, they destroyed that great. There was a power station that we had built there, and they had to get rid of it because it used the water and the currents, and there was something else behind all that. Okay, but they had to destroy it, and there's actually photographs of before and after they destroyed what we had built. Anyway, largest population in America at the time, and it did have a proximity to both the tourist attraction of Niagara Falls and closeness to New York City. But still, it is hard to place Buffalo in the same breath as Paris, London, or Barcelona. Chicago and other World's Fairs hosts. Why is the city even named Buffalo? The origin for the name is in fact unknown. The standard claim is that it is named after nearby Buffalo Creek. Okay. But then how did the creek get its name? There were no buffalo around this area when the Europeans supposedly arrived. One claim suggests it comes from French fur traders calling the river the Beau Fleuve, beautiful river. Yeah. But I think that is a stretch. Some claim the creek was named long ago by Indians when buffalo were this far east. Other suggestions, and remember it's not east, it's west. Other suggestions are equally odd. So in fact, no one has any idea why the city has the name Buffalo. All of its growth as a city is claimed to come from the building of the Erie Canal in 1825. They didn't build that, which is another construction mystery when you examine it closely. Now, Buffalo, like Chicago, has a number of old structures in the city. Churches, government buildings, so mislabeled and renamed, hotels, and the like. Who built them in such a short period of time? Their Pan-American Exposition was held in 1901. Now, are y'all aware about the Pan-American movement and the Native American movement that was subjugated from the 1890s to that point? Because before that, there was no natives. And even in historic books, there were no Mongoloids. There's none. And who purchased Alaska? And what happened to the people without Russia knowing it, which was a conflict in itself? I told you how these people use people and they dismiss them and they keep moving forward. You can see when they walk around, and for those who live in New York and Philly and other places, and you've heard them talk. They walk away as if you're nothing because they've been conditioned, and they talk as if you're nothing, even if you don't believe them. They don't care. Anyway, 1901. That also began on the May 1st date. It occupied a massive 350 acres and again was supposedly built of temporary structures, of which only a few survive, such as the current Buffalo History Museum. If you're in Buffalo, go take a look at it. Well, they've changed the insides of all these buildings. Several guidebooks were published for the fair, including Rand McNally. Anyone going there said they were going to do the Pan. Many of the guides suggest the reader take a day or two and visit Toronto. Hamilton and Niagara Falls, Canada. Thomas Edison shot much video at this fair, though it is grainy, which is interesting as the electricity of the fair was won again by Nikola Tesla and Westinghouse, but they would have you believe otherwise, right? I gotta go in here and stare at this, guys. Ladies and gents, we can read this forever, trust me. Because it gets so much better. It does. It really does. It gets really good. When you start looking at the information and start realizing, even with his rudimentary information and studying, it's still a marvelous job. Let me go and stare this way quick, turn it off, and I'll be right. Hey, baby, where you live became Buffalo's Creek, unlike other nearby creeks such as Creek and Smoke Creek, which were named after actual historic figures. Yes, very much so, baby. How you doing, love? It's good to see you. Feeling better, too. Oh, yes. Okay, let me get this in here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is going to be so good, man. Where is that? Let's get that one cup. One cup. No, where's the big little snizzle snack? Okay. Let's get that up. One love, one love. Let's get together and we'll be alright. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to save the rest of this. Oh man. I don't know, I might not be able to save the rest of this. I got a little thing I got upstairs. Alright. Okay. Oh, did I really do that? Oh, I guess I did. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, okay. Alright, we're just gonna set it aside. Let's stir this in. Put the lid on. And coconut flour. Just gonna put it in here. Yeah, it's whisking up pretty good. All right. All right, that's good. That's good. My apologies, everybody. That's good. You're stuck up in that window now, aren't you, buddy? Oh, you got your eye on that bird, that Tweety bird? You hear it over there? Tweet, 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 tweet. Okay. Hey, baby, it's good to see you. Another theory holds that a Seneca Indian lived there, either whose name meant buffalo or who had the physical characteristics of a buffalo and was translated. That's why they said buffalo soldiers, because they were dark. They were dark, very dark, actually. And yes, it was a misinterpretation, but also because we didn't partake and eat of the buffalo. It was sacred. It was not sacred. It was everything around us was sacred. We didn't partake of eating life. And though I know people want to argue it because you had the individuals, we had chicken and beef and pork. I was like, they're not even indigenous to the land. They're a creation based on the change of, because nobody wants to research that information. It's mind-boggling. Yes, baby. The Senecas, all that. You know, grand cities that ran everything, the councils there before the war set upon them. The Pequot fought alongside them. They were the first to be done wrong and poisoned. Just like the Pamunkey and a whole lot of other tribes. You know, it's just unbelievable. And the Pequot are the ones who were sent to the Caribbeans, create the Nigeria to Europe, and you don't see no Mongolian, no Ket people anywhere because they were the ones that can help with these same Gujars. All you gotta do is look at the Russian army. Now I'm not saying it, but it's right there in Ukraine too. But they went over there to conquer the Europes and all that stuff, and then they would separate from them once they get their troops and their new people, and they would keep doing the same thing over and over while they establish control in certain places. They have their people in leading positions. It didn't. Most of these people in the leading positions in this country aren't qualified to be there, so they're made to know what you know because it's a perversion. You know what I'm saying? They're not qualified. The majority of them in politics and everything else. You have been grafted to believe the way they carry on and talk, the circle jerk, is important and valuable. It's all a lie. It's all act. If we govern, everything would start falling back in place. And it would be very unbiased, but biased because we would get rid of the things that don't apply to this land. They know it. Our problem is our people don't know it. Just like Omar Johnson running around. I don't even like mentioning his name. It's worthless. With the Pan-African. When was that created? You see what I'm saying? They're nothing like Louis Farrakhan is nothing but his daddy's puppet. Master Farad. Look at him. And that's not his father. Y'all should know what his father looked like. I put a post up. The problem is nobody wants to accept the responsibility to make change because they still love the lie they live in. Yeah, Delusion, that was a good one you did there, beloved. They only knew mouth of things told me. You got that right, baby. You got that right. Hey, Delusion's Mikey Cox. It's good. My baby girl's the first in the house. I love you, boo-boo. The throat or the straight Niagara is a simplification of the original word. Other sources have as the thunder of waters. Yes, and a few others too. I wanted to say thank you to. If you popped up on here, and I was surprised. I think it was Timonius. if I remember right. Yeah, our brother who was just with us is when he didn't have to give, he slid 10 in, so I appreciate that, beloved. I know you may be busy or whatever, but let's go ahead and get in Heaven Bearers, all right? Heaven Bearers, the Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. I know you're going to be like, he's going to do a cliffhanger. Don't worry about it. Just listen. This is by Janine Helen, as y'all know, and this one's pretty wore out. I'm actually going to order one just to have that's in great shape. I believe she has a hard copy. I believe I've got to look into it. And there she is in South Africa, and it's the building that you really should be paying attention. If you can see there, I don't know if you can see it, but that is old world, and people want to dismiss. There's a reason why our people went to Nigeria, and there were some who knew about it. They had never been there, but they knew of the ancestral stories. And you know what happened not long after they got there? There was war brought upon them, and you know what that was for. Read the history to get rid of the old guard. They probably could have lived another 50 or 60 years. As my great-great-uncle stated, they knew people lived well over 200 years. Okay. Here we go. Got to get in the right mood. So you know what's going on with Azrael, Malcolm. All right, Emil and Amelia, their mother, okay? It's Azrael and them were there to kill. You had to see as far as Zara, Mother Nature, and Mother Nature was going to, not, was it Mother Nature or, well, we'll get back into it. It'll cover all that. But I just wanted to, give you back a little part of what was going on, because the fight is taking place as of now. Because you got to remember, when Malcolm had, them reached the canopy and everything, and what they were going and what they had set up to do, and Azrael, who was the master of deception and everything that was going on with it, because he had to face his father. I mean, it really is getting to be pretty heavy. Okay, so let's get into it. He looks down into his hands and in utter disbelief realizes he became a scaly monster just like her. So, who are we talking about? Let's back it up so you can have some remembrance. After Azrael had killed them all, he returned to see Zara and accept his powers, as she promised him. Silly boy, I have no powers to give you. She proceeds to laugh and then hisses at him. I want beauty. Now, this is a different realm. I want to be beautiful, but you can't give me that. You never could, so I made you ugly like me. Okay? That was the mother nature of his realm. He looks down at his hands and in utter disbelief realizes he became a scaly monster just like her. That's where we're at. This was never part of the agreement, Zara. Why do I look like this? He shouts at her and is angry. He doesn't want to accept this reality. He can't accept it. She laughs at him and licks his face with her bright orange tongue, but she says nothing. He realizes then that he was fooled by her. It was simple, and he had not expected it. His shocked expression changes into one of amazement and awe. He wanted to become a master of deception, and she had just shown him how easy it was to deceive. He stayed with Zara in the underneath for 73 years, and he fathered 6 children: Bird, Kismet, Samira, Enid, Naam, and Ard, and they called themselves the Heaven Bearers. Zara taught them everything she knew until they were ready to conquer, and so they did. For 450 years, they went from tree of life to tree of life and took anything and everything they wanted. Doesn't it sound like the old tree of lives we had that were giant, beyond giganormous, that were chopped down? Just letting you know. And took anything and everything they wanted. They got high off of the fear they created and their greed for beautiful things, including the women festered. Sometimes they gained special abilities from the beings they conquered. They did this through their art of deception and with the promise of safety and security in exchange. There was, however, never any safety and security, as I keep trying to tell these people who keep censoring and doing all the dumb things they do. They were cruel and showed no mercy, and the more they pillaged and killed the innocent beings, the more they enjoyed it. Plurth was their third conquest. The galaxy started, the realm started to notice something was causing Earths to combust internally and knew something had to be done to fix the problem. The galaxy didn't realize, or the realm, that it was due to the heaven bearers and their pillaging ways. The heaven bearers knew they needed to keep their true intentions secret. They devised a plan to find a race of beings that had a king that sat on the council of the galaxy, and the empire of Tartaria was at the head of this particular table. Azrael walks out from the shadows, and he is in his normal form. This surprises Malcolm completely, and he can't help but wonder why. His eyes quickly scan the room to see if he can find King Finn's body. Oh, excuse me. Hi, just that. King Finn's body, and anywhere he looked, but he doesn't see it. You surprise me, Azrael. You walk around with such arrogance, even though you know you have met your match with her. She will end your rule. He pauses briefly while he takes a good look at him. You are uglier than I could have imagined. He mocks him and gives him a toothy grin. Azrael laughs out, and the other heaven bearers suddenly appear next to him in their Tartarian form. You forget you are my son, Malcolm. That means you are half as ugly and evil as I am. You will realize this one day, and so will your pretty little Tartarian. He grins suddenly and gives him a sinister look, or maybe not. Malcolm can feel his body panic slightly at the sight of its grin, and he immediately pushes the thought away. You understand what the end goal is here, don't you? He glances at each of the heaven bearers, one by one, but they are expressionless and don't react to his words at all. This creation of the human race to be your slave is a pipe dream. It will never work. You are not getting the birthright that you want. There are not enough of them, and the more you allow the Tartarians to reproduce, the more chance they have of overthrowing you at some point in the future. He looks directly at Samira and takes a step closer to her. That is, if you even manage to live that long. Azrael doesn't like to share. Each of you knows this very well by now. How long do you think it will take until he kills you off one by one? There has been a new development, silly boy. Samira steps forward and places her hand on Azrael, and she smiles cunningly at Malcolm. The humans are reproducing in great numbers, Malcolm. You just don't know how about it. And your little Tartarian can't stop it. No one can. You can thank Mother Nature for that. He shakes his head in disbelief. He was always the prodigal son, and he knew everything there was to know about the breeding programs. He took part in it from a young age. He is angry now and reminds himself that Azrael might have the nickname of the Angel of Death, but his true gift is deception. He feels stupid suddenly and wants all of this to end. He doesn't want to fight, but he knows he has to. Mother Nature will realize that you have deceived her. You can only pull the wool over her eyes for so long. And when she does realize that you have done so, she will show you no mercy, and you will all be killed. This is the last race of beings that you will conquer, but you will not destroy them. Mark my words. He warns them gently. His hands are balled into fists, and he believes every word that just came out of his mouth. Malcolm does. He has to, for her sake. Bonnie's. Oh, sweet Malcolm, you sure are naive. She walks up to him slowly, flirty, and rubs her finger over his chest. Mother Nature has decided she wants to share in the riches. She flicks his chin with her sharp fingernail and cuts him just enough so that a single drop runs down his chin and neck. He flinches, and his eyes flash purple. She licks his cheek, which is followed by a teasing kiss, and she forces her hand into his chest and punctures his heart with the same sharp nail. His face turns a pale pink with the sudden realization of what has just happened, and the luminous green fades from his eyes. He falls down to his knees and feels a wave of emotions rush over him. Bonnie, he cries out. He didn't see this coming. He didn't even feel fear. How did she manage to get him to reveal his greatest fear without him even knowing about it? The color completely drains from his face, and it hits him suddenly. They are going to try and kill Azrael, and they are going to use Bonnie to do it. He takes one last look at Azrael and then at Samira. She will kill you for this. He musters up one last arrogant grin, and with it realizes his last breath and gently slumps over. Cliffhanger, cliffhanger is a banger, cliffhanger is a banger, cliffhanger. I'm gonna be the king of cliffhangers, y'all. I know this is so evil. I'm not evil. I was gonna say this is not wrong. It's not. Well, it is. It's wrong. I wanted to be wrong. Cliffhanger. No, I hope you all enjoyed that video. Serious. I gotta go in here and say this. Stu, give it another 15 minutes. And I hope y'all enjoyed that read. I really do. Yeah, what's going on? Hey, Herbo. What's going on, Mark? What's going on, baby? What's going on? Where them children go? Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that reading. It was good to have y'all here. I just wanted to keep it kind of quick and simple. It's I hope you guys are supporting all the other people. I don't know who went live because I'm not really messing with that right now. Like I said, sometimes other things take precedence, you know what I mean? But I'll turn on YouTube here in a minute to see if anybody put up anything new. I have the History channel. I don't really watch it much, but I wanted to see what they had on there as far as some of the nonsense. And because I like seeing the lies that they stay so relevant, pushing, you know, whether it's through indoctrination and people believe in the fake world that's been given to them, or they're staying quiet because they know that it's a lot of, you know, trivial nonsense. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up and see what's in there as far as the documentaries. I haven't watched. I don't know if it came out, but I haven't watched. What's that movie? I don't think I came out. I didn't look at the trailer for the Olmec or the Mayans, whatever. I'm just not going to watch it. I don't see the worth in actually watching anything that's just conscripted to lie further, or just to, you know, further lie and add more nonsense to the, you know, the soup of deception. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm going to play a little music. Excuse me. Oh man, God dog. And I'm gonna shut it down. And because it is 2:40, well, it's just 2:40. It's 2:40 here. I'll probably come on at 5 because I really need to get back to reading the other 2 books. One of them we got a little ways to go, but the other one is not going to take too long at all. Okay, that's the Negro Project and Will Cooper's Behold the Pale Horse. I really need to get back into it. I've read a little more because I want to make sure of certain things. And it is, and you know, because I've read them before, I think it's very pertinent based upon the time. So we'll go ahead and at 5 o'clock, we'll go ahead and make that happen as well. What was that? Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming in. It's good to see you guys. So with love and respect. I know that on the so-called East Coast, it's a 3-hour difference, so it's 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever. So hope your day is full. I hope you get yourself together and you're ready for tomorrow, for whatever it brings. And my sisters, and my brothers, and again, appreciate the donations, whoever decides to make them. And hopefully tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning, we can say that, hey, this is the books we're going to get, and order those books and we'll be done. That's my love. Right now, my love is Snooki and my affiliation for the tribe, really life, and books. That's me, books. I don't care about becoming a phenom of books, but I just have a knack for breaking them down, based on what I've been allowed in this so-called world of existence. Okay? So again, appreciate y'all. Thank you, baby girl. And probably 5 o'clock. I'll see you guys. I'm gonna go in here and get this, because this mushroom, this is one of the mushroom chowders that you sent me, babe. Well, I haven't been to them. I'm gonna see if the mushrooms came in, but this stuff is really good. I made it a few times before. It's pretty good, but I changed it up this time. I'm using the cream of mushroom, and it's really, really, really good. All right, so I sent you some messages on Insta Boogie, and if anybody pay attention, I've gotten rid of two of my Facebook accounts. I think it's one more. I have to go back in there and completely delete. So I don't care about Facebook. I really detest it. So I got to go in there, and I'm not saving the information on there. Deactivating it, I don't care about it. I really don't. So if anybody wants to know because they're censoring everybody who talks like us, and they make sure nobody can see anybody, and anybody that has see more or less, most people aren't even hitting see more because they're ignorant. So they're dividend, and they'll be the same ones crying about everything and act like they don't know what you said when you said what you said, because of the goofy censoring that shouldn't be happening. But we're not here to talk about what's legal and illegal. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna hit you guys up, like I said, about 5. All right? Have a grand day.